Welcome back to the next episode in the RX-8 series.
Seriously, I just had it.
In my last video, I got the irons lapped and cleaned up and ready to go. Today we're going to be focusing on the rotors, getting those cleaned up, and we're also going to be replacing the bearings in both rotors and both of the stationary gears. For those of you joining me for the first time, my thrust bearing in the front of the motor, which should look like that, ended up disintegrating, and it looks more like that now. That's about all that was left of it. And it threw all kinds of particulate into the motor. And when it did that, it ruined all the bearings. If you look in here, these are all scraped up. You can see the copper in them, so those definitely need replaced. So we're gonna get those bearings out of there, get everything cleaned up, put it through the parts washer, just in case I have contaminated oil on the inside of the rotors, get everything cleaned up. You can see I already have all of the seals, the oil retention rings, everything out of the rotors and ready to go. For those of you that are a little bit more experienced and have a keen eye, you can notice that the keeper on this bearing should be up here and it got spun. I have the rotor flipped over. I want to get this bearing out. It just so happens that my 54 millimeter that I use for the E-shaft nut is kind of a perfect fit for this. So I'm going to use this to hammer that out. My trick is going to be getting this bearing out without damaging it so that I can use this bearing to push the new one in. You can see the bearings popping right out, but I'm bottoming out on the bottom of my tray. The trick that I'm going to use is just putting a couple of 2x4s underneath it to give myself a little bit more clearance so I can tap the bearing the rest of the way out. And there we have it. Let's get the other one done. Cool beans. This one was in a little bit more snug than the other one was, I'm assuming because the other one was spun a little bit. As we take a closer look at the front rotor, you can see where that bearing spun and it just really grooved into that rotor. So I'm not going to reuse this rotor. Luckily for me, dun, 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 I've got one good rotor from the original motor. The problem that I have is all my side seals and everything have been clearanced for this rotor and not this one. So I'm hoping that I can use the side seals that came out of this rotor on this rotor. If I can get all my side seals to be within spec on this one, this is going to be a great candidate to replace this guy, because not only is the inside of the bearing trashed, but the outside as well, along with the housing of the rotor where the bearing sits. I was also really lucky that these are both E-weight rotors. I know that that's a common weight, but I wanted the weights of the front and rear rotors to match. So the fact that they're both E's is a good thing. Well, don't ask me how, but I got really lucky with all of the side seals, except for just one, which was a little bit long, which is this guy. And I'll just need to lap that down and clearance it when I go to put things back together, because it's just a little bit too snug in there. But everything else is clearanced and ready to rock and roll. I somehow managed to get every single side seal in there and have it work. Finally, some good news. Up next, we're gonna get the bearing out of the stationary gear. You wanna get this keeper bolt out before you do anything else, otherwise you'll really mess stuff up. You might need an impact driver to get that guy out of there. Now that I have the keeper out, I'm just gonna use the same approach. I'm gonna use a socket and a hammer to push this guy through. And there we have it. And we're just gonna do the same exact thing for the rear. Make sure you get your keeper screw out of there. This one's a little bit harder to get to than the other one because it's recessed. It can be kind of a pain in the butt to get that guy out of there because they are in there pretty darn tight. What I'm gonna do here is use an old bearing and a press to press the new bearing in. I set this down and put a marker line the whole way around the old bearing so that I know how far down I need to go without trying to go too far. I've also marked the bearing where it lines up with the notch on the new bearing so that whenever I press it down, I can ensure that that goes into the right slot. I also froze this bearing to ease installation. For the stationary gear bearings, you want to make sure that this oval hole is lined up with this hole right here. And it has to be pretty much perfect because that's where your oil goes in to lubricate those bearings. That, and whenever you tighten up your keeper, it goes into this hole right here. This is obviously the old bearing, but let's get the new one out of the freezer and press it in. As you can see, we got the new bearing installed, and that oval hole is lined up perfectly with my oil channel. Let's get the rear done. You can see where I have this marked with a Sharpie right here so that I can line up with my oil channel. Let's grab that guy out of the freezer and press it in. Again, you can see the oval is lined up perfectly with that. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Out with the old and in with the new. The bearings went in perfectly. A special thanks to my father-in-law for letting me use his press since I don't own one. We are one step closer to getting this thing back together. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Dorito.